Yes. Nope. Hello, this is Going Solo with Cece, and you guys are listening to the WGSN-DB Business Showcase. And we are so delighted to have a wonderful guest with us. But before we start, I want to just share with you, I am Cece Chef, the doyen of relationship building. What I do is really help connect you to some pretty awesome people, and you're going to find out that today for sure. Our website is goingsolomedia.com, and if you ever want to send me an email, which I love to hear from you, my email is goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. So we are going to go right into our guest today because we have a lot to share with you here on the Business Showcase. The gentlemen, here we go. We have Irvin here with us, and let me just bring up your information so we have that. You've created the light at the end of the tunnel. You are a rocker, a producer, a disabled vet, and business leader, and I want to thank you for your service, sir. We do appreciate all that you've given to us. So tell us a little bit about your journey in creating all that you've created.
Well, it's basically, I've been in business areas most of my life, but I was head of a business called Easy Pack Manufacturing, and in '86, an 88-year-old man hit me head on, and I became disabled in most areas, including a brain injury. I also now suffer from tinnitus, in which one of the songs on this album is called Tinnitus of the Brain, which is sort of interesting. I have progressed. I've sold most everything. I was a Playboy bartender. I also believed in that I did not like elephants and walruses and narwhals getting killed for their ivory tusks. And what I did is I worked along with my partner out of Alaska and Oregon, and we began selling fossil ivory from the woolly mastodon mammoth, and we got it created as an alternative to ivory use, and it ended up where we won the Best of the World's Fair in 1984, and gave a present to President Reagan and Nancy Reagan at that fair. After that, I moved on. I have developed into many areas. I've worked to help many areas. I've been an advocate for the disabled. I'm not exactly a vet. My father was a vet, and I take care of the vets to clear that up. But I created a company in 1998 called Edu Entertain Inc., which means education and entertainment. And what we did from '98 is we trial and error on many things, and we've got to a point now where we're a coronavirus, and we're also selling a PPE, protective personal equipment, which we're getting custom made for people, usually in amounts from 500,000 a million to start, and that is something that we're looking forward to in a big way. Get a Meta is our band from our service disabled veterans owned small business. And the man that you see on there is Gerald Wayne Cheatham, who I've worked with for over 30 years. He's a great musician. What's amazing about this video, by the way, he's using 15-year-old Mac equipment. So when you see this, I mean, you wouldn't believe how many times we had to go through getting it just through that equipment to get it right. But done an amazing job. I wrote the song with him, and I produced it, and very proud of him. He just never gives up. He's like a pit bull, but he just keeps on it. And this song, "Light at the End Tunnel." Excuse me. It's a very important. Uh, when my friend, his name is Abe to me, he stole some sunglasses when drunk last summer, and he got put in jail, and he got out, And the first thing we did was we did a cover on Triumph's Fight the Good Fight. And that was real personal. And today, the song that you hear, Light at the End of the Tunnel, means a lot to us too. And we're talking about the coronavirus, but we're also making a personal statement. And this is the beginning of an album that's going to have songs like Tinnitus in the Brain, Going to the Moon Again, Do As I Say, Not As I Do. And it's going to develop into an album. What we're hoping is that somebody like Alice Cooper or Ozzy or even Bon Jovi will pick us up because they're older. A lot of them sort of want to give back, like I'm sort of doing right now. And we're hoping that we can get produced by a major artist. So we're working on that, the PPE. We're also working on a comedy show with my wife and I. We don't believe in PC. We're not un-PC humor. We make fun of everything, of everyone, and especially ourselves. And we're in the vein of Mel Brooks. We believe, if you've ever seen Blazing Saddles, you'll know what we're talking about. Yeah. So one of the things we'd like to see is we're trying to reach out to Jerry Seinfeld and see if he'll produce this show. We've tested it through Las Vegas and all through Oregon. Got a great reaction to it. It's very funny. We're two seniors. We love our country, our flag, and we just don't fit the narrative because we don't do drugs or alcohol or anything, but we like cannabis, and what we call it mammothmarijuana.com, because originally we did have a dispensary we were trying to work on called mammothmarijuana.com, but it didn't happen. But this comedy is sort of created from it. So those are the three areas we're focused on: the PPE, the Get a Meta, which we're going to help inner city youth, and also mammothmarijuana.com. Those are the three areas we're focused on.
It's very interesting because you as a business leader, you've definitely moved through. You've had a journey here in your lifetime, and a lot of experiences, and then of course the tragedy that made you disabled, but that didn't stop you into the business world. You've continued on creating, using your creative ability and your creative side, which is very honorable. So I want to appreciate that. Do you want to play a little bit of the video now so the audience can hear it?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that.
From what I gave you.
Let me see if I can do it. I'm not very talented at this, so we're gonna give it a whirl. We'll bring it up here, and let's see what happens here. See if I can bring it up on the screen. There we go, and we'll try it here. Sometimes I'm sorry. Here we go. Ready?
Ready.
This unseen enemy, like a raging storm throughout the world. A mistake in a lab that spread from a wet market. Coronavirus. It's COVID-19. It's COVID-19. Coronavirus. It's COVID-19. Coronavirus. It's COVID-19. Coronavirus. It's finally unseen. Your world community. Right at the end of the tunnel. Right at the end of the tunnel. Your world community. Let's let the light shine forever. This is only the first. We'll shut the kids up all place. The beginning
video. If you're suffering from premature hearing loss, the struggle could soon be over. Thanks to recent.
Well, that was terrific. I'm sorry, I'm still learning how to do all this. But you know, I love the tempo and the beat to it. It takes a very serious subject and you know, makes it a little bit lighthearted to where we understand that, you know, we've got to do things and connect with other people, but we can also find a little bit of our sense of humor. And music is always makes us comfortable, right? It always gives us a soft place in which to land. And so, yeah, and I like that going back to, it kind of takes me back to when I was in high school and the beat and the tempo. Yeah, it's very cool.
I wanted him to do it in a way, even though Get a Meta is short or fast for ghetto metal, because I'm a metalhead. I wanted him to do it a little bit more like a gospel. And I think that comes across. But some of the other songs in the album are going to be a little different, like Tinnitus of the Brain, which I have that, and I've written that, and Going to the Moon Again, and I especially have been liking Do As I Say, Not As I Do, because there's so many people that tell us what to do, but they don't do it. And I think Do As I Say, Not As I Do is going to be very popular. We're hoping that this gets a lot of attention. We also want to help inner city youth, and we picked that as our charity to help because the majority of the money, 95 cents of the dollar, is going to go to help these kids in the ghetto area, which relates to Ghetto Meta, which means ghetto metal, and also. We feel, you know, I mean, they're giving like more than tutoring and food. I mean, they get summer camp and you get a horse to take care of, and there's a little bit more to it. And we're hoping to get thousands and thousands of these kids some help. And we're in a way saying that it's their light at the end of the tunnel too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We put up the website here, which is getameta.net. That's GETTAMETTA.net. And so you can go there. Now, I know that when we want to listen to the video all the way through, we'll go to this website, the getameta.net website. And then you also have some other bonuses and like a package, don't you, that you're offering to anyone. And then those and go to help the children in need. So
right. It's a VIP package. And in it, we've got the full download, the remaster, which really sounds good, and then you get the music video, the newest one. You get a front and back color premium T-shirt, not a junky one, a premium one that's got the light at the end of the tunnel on it with Get a Meta, and on the back we're going to be putting things for inner city youth to bring attention to that. And we're hoping to get great attention, and then also get, if they're interested, $5 towards a subscription to Get a Meta record music.
Wow, that's wonderful. We seem to be getting some feedback, so I don't know what the problem is, but it's all internet and it's live, and so that's what happens. Sometimes we have glitches. But, you know, I think this is really an awesome thing that you're doing to help people, and you're doing it in a fun way. And I'm looking forward to the comedy show and that you're bringing forward with that. And I hope that, you know, the producers and all of those will see it and you know, do a little bit more with bringing that forward. That'll be very cool. Yeah.
Mammothmarijuana.com has a lot of potential. One of the things we're doing right now is we tend to make fun of what's on TV, and we're finding a lot of these politicians, they have what they call signers next to them, you know, doing these signing. But I mean, some of them are hysterical. If you just watch the signers and not the politician, they're individual, they're funnier than hell. And what we were thinking about doing was making a show making fun of the signers, but at the same time we're doing that, we want somebody to do signing our show. So we want to do a little bit of a Seinfeld type feeling to it as maybe our first show. So that should be happening in a few weeks in production.
That should be quite funny. And you are right; they are very, and they do their job well. So I want to make sure I put
Yes,
that
they
out
do.
there. I think the signers are excellent, and they're so needed and very valued. So we certainly want them to know that. But they are, some of them, very, very funny, and they're very theatrical as they're signing, and they're actually making it entertaining. To be able to listen to something that's very dry. They're making it quite entertaining. Yeah.
We just feel it's time to make fun of everything, make fun of everyone, but especially ourselves.
Yeah.
And we just feel that Mel Brooks is needed again. People are taking things too seriously. Got to start laughing a little, and we just don't fit the niche. We as two seniors, we're not going to fit like what you're expecting from MammothMarijuana.com.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So that is a site people can go to and find all that information there, right?
Yes, I'll be MammothMarijuana.com as the name, and that will be on YouTube, and we're hoping to maybe get major production by maybe Jerry Seinfeld or even Mel Brooks' son. Mel Brooks is pretty old now, but his son, we think, might like to pick something like this up. We feel this is needed, actually. It's too much anger, and we need to laugh a little.
Right. There is a lot going on out there in the world that's very scary, and the virus is keeping us home and penting us up, and we're getting anxiety and things like that. And it's nice to have the comedy, to maybe offset some of that. And a lot of my friends have been posting, like, what can we watch? We don't want to watch anything that has violence in it. We don't, we really want to keep something light. And so, yeah, I think it is very, very needed. So I hope, and I pray that it will happen for you, that, all of this will get picked up and will turn out into to some major show for you. That would be pretty awesome. Are you still there? Did I lose you?
I have. Yeah, no, I said it's faith that's carried me through my life.
Oh,
Sometimes
we get very emotional when we put all of our heart and soul into something, and then when we start to see it take place, we start to take vision. As a business owner, you totally understand that when you start to see what your creation is starting to blossom, right? Yeah, and it really gets, it truly gets.
I'm a very sensitive person. My mother is a great artist. My father was also disabled businessman, and I'm a product of that. And I'm lucky. I have a wonderful daughter and granddaughter. My wife, Joanne, is just unbelievable. She's wonderful.
That's great. It's times like that we need to celebrate. It's those wonderful aspects that we have in our lives that we need to celebrate right now and hang on to. And like you said, bring the joy back into our lives. And I'm so glad that you came on the show today, because I think we need to really jumpstart our lives a little bit to understand that if business is our passion, if whatever our business may be, I mean, it could just be anything, but if our business is our passion, like your business is yours, we need to really share it with people, really give it to people and let it grow and let it just evolve. And so I'm just so excited for you to have the video on, and then talk about the show which is just around the corner for you. So it's exciting. It's very, very.
Another thing, one other thing is, I made a move a few years ago, and we made a move to become what they call a service disabled veterans owned small business. And that's how I help vets, and I represent our vets. our disabled vets. In our company, it's a little different. We represent disabled vets, veterans, the disabled, and also minorities, including women.
Okay, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about that. So what do you do to help the disabled vets?
Well, we're branching out in those three different areas that we're focusing. Right now, we're getting ready to, it's made to order PPE, which is personal protective equipment for our first liner people. And it's just such a demand. And we actually got this fantastic connection. And we hope to be selling to the hospitals and to the states and the FEMA. We're going to try to focus our areas around the government stockpiles of the states and the federal government, as well as like Canada is the same.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. Yeah. So you help to employ some of those individuals that.
Right. We already have two vets. One, our president is our disabled veteran Air Force. He's 79 now. His name is David Flinker, our wonderful president. And also, I'm so proud of our Special Forces veteran, Sean Gomez, who has been helping me a lot, and especially in my technical areas that I lack in. He's been really wonderful.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, because when we're embarking on any business, right, we don't know all of the ins and outs to every aspect of it. And so when we can get professional individuals that that we're helping, that like you're employing, the special needs or the the minority or the disabled, you're helping them to be able to use their skills in a very positive way, and that's really a terrific thing. And so what you see is a shortfall for yourself because you're thinking, doggone it, I wish I knew more about this technical stuff. You are actually helping somebody, you know what I mean? And so I know the same way. I feel the same feeling that you do. Sometimes I think, oh shoot, why can't I do this? But when I'm hiring somebody to do that job that they're very good at doing, we're also doing something really pretty great, because that's
a good job of an executive producer. I was CEO. For 22 years. Now I'm the chairman, but I'm also executive producer. I made a film, The Competitor. I've worked on other short films, and also I produced this video as the executive producer and writer of along with Gerald Wayne Cheatham.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you're a very creative man and very talented. And, it's just awesome to be able to have you on the show here today. And so any little shortfalls you may have in technical, I wouldn't sweat it because you could do what most people can't do. So, so no worries there. But yeah, it's, I wanted to bring you on because I wanted people to be inspired if they had an idea, because so often we have ideas in our pocket, right? We'll maybe share them to people we trust or we love, but we don't really act upon those. And I would love to see more people step out and become a business owner, become a business leader, doing their passion in what they love to do. So yeah.
I think the key, CC, is to get focused. One of my problems over the years is I was all over the place. I just had so many ideas and so many things, but now I'm growing a little, believe it or not, 63, but I'm more focused. I got the three areas I'm really focused on: PPE, Get a Meta, and mammothmarijuana.com. And that's important for your people to hear, because it's okay to have all your ideas. But one of the things I find that I'm starting to do, just like the songs I'm writing, I've got 3 out of the 8 done for the album, but I also got 5 still in production. So there's nothing wrong with having those ideas and keeping them going, but keep focused and don't make some mistakes I did. Try to be a little harder on yourself, not in a bad way, but just pray and get focused, and whatever you need to do, do it. But you can do it. I mean, right now there's more opportunity in this country and the world actually than ever before. And if people don't take advantage of it, they're, they're missing out.
Yeah, I agree with that. So many people I've talked to and that I've listened to that have been so stressed being home during the virus and all of this kind of thing. To me, I have been so inspired by being at home because I work from home. And so I have my own office here and I set everything up and I do everything, but it didn't stop me at all. Of course, I'm internet based. Everything I do is pretty much internet based, but which I felt like in the future we were going to go internet. Everything we're going to be doing is internet based. You're seeing all radio stations and all of that going towards internet now. But the thing is what you have to do is really be creative and understand that every business is not set in stone, and so you're going to have twists and turns along the way. And you've definitely experienced that. And
you gotta try and fail a lot. There's nothing wrong, by the way, with failing. Failing makes you stronger. It makes you better. Excuse me.
Wow.
Just don't give up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, it's not. We don't always fail, right? I feel like it's more of awareness that sometimes when things aren't happening the way we want them to happen, let's say we envision something for our business, we decide we want to do something. Like you said, you're creative, so you tend to do a lot of things, right? You develop a lot of things. The same way. I'm exactly the same way. As you can see on my solo network, I have a lot of irons in the fire, but they're all centralized as to what I'm going to be doing. So it's like I'm I have the spokes out, but the wheel is still centered. But we have to understand that when things don't really happen the way we think they're going to happen, it's not that we failed at doing it. It's that we're aware now of a twist or a turn that we need to make.
Right. So it's going to probably open the door up for something else.
Absolutely.
It's not really failing.
No.
But there's nothing wrong also in failing. And that's what I learned. I would think that there's something wrong and I'd beat up on myself. There's no reason to. Things are just a step away from something else, and let it happen. And actually, the simpler you make it, the better things will be. The harder, the more involved, the more you make it, you're just not focused. And if I could say anything, is I'm going to be 64 on the 27th. Just get focused. Write down what you're thinking. Write down 10 of the things you're thinking. And don't be afraid. It could be way out there. But write them down, and then start to focus in on 3, and just get focused and get the help you need. The SBA has got all kinds of programs. There's no reason for women and minorities anymore not to get the help. There is so much help out there. Our veterans get help, our disabled and our disabled veterans, all kinds of help, and go for it. It's out there.
Yeah, that's great advice, and I want to thank you so much for sharing that, because you're right. That to home in on what you truly want to do and is very important. And so sitting down, making a list, and then becoming more aware of what it is that you want to do. Sometimes by making that list, you can really home in on what it is, where your specialties lie. And so we don't always appreciate the talents that we have.
When I was younger, I wanted to do 3 things. I wanted to be a comedian, I wanted to be a rocker, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And those things didn't happen. And yet right now they're all happening. Now, I mean, I'm about ready to turn to 64. It's all happening right now. And I believe things are going to happen a big way. I have no doubt.
Yes, absolutely. Age is no barrier. It's that you don't defeat because of an age, and definitely I can vouch for that, being in the last quarter of my life too. I totally can relate to that. But there was Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think that gentleman who founded the Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise, he was in the latter part of his life with many businesses that were unsuccessful. So never give up. Yeah, like you said, never give up on your dreams and your goals of what it is that you want to achieve. It's there for you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally get what you're about, and I think that you're very creative, and producing what you're producing is no feat in itself. It's very very difficult to do, and so I truly.
One of the things that I'm very working on right now too is a song called "Tinnitus of the Brain."
Right.
A lot of people don't know about this. They hear about tinnitus and you hear about your ears, okay, but a lot of it is in the brain. And I had a brain injury from the car accident and was really not affected until the last year. And now, I mean, it comes on like a freight train. It gets about 6 in the evening till late at night. I mean, it's just so loud. And I have to overcome that. I have to overcome tremendous pain. They don't give you painkillers anymore. They hardly will give you a sleeping medication. So I do things. And to be honest, with this virus and everything, while people are looking for things to do, I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm with you on that. That's the same thing. It's like the hours turn into days, and I'm thinking like, I gotta sleep. I mean, wait a minute here. I've got to stop this. I got to go to bed. So yeah, I know exactly. But see, you're on a mission. You've got it planned out of what it is that you need to do. And I think that song is going to really resonate with people because I didn't know about that. I remember my boss, I used to work for an attorney years ago as a paralegal, and my boss got the tinnitus in his ears, and he would get that ringing in his ears. And so I didn't realize, and that was very bad for him. And so I didn't realize that you would have that in the head, in your brain.
Yeah. And that's what this song, it's going to be more like a sort of like a dark Pink Floyd-ish type of song. I got it written pretty well, but I think that's going to be real important on the second side of the album. And I also think "Do As I Say, Not As I Do" is important because there's too much people telling everybody what to do, but they don't do it. I mean, they'll tell you to stay in, but they'll go to the golf course or the park, or they tell everybody what to do, but they don't do it. And I think "Do As I Say, Not As I Do" is going to be a very important song.
Well, I think that is the way I was raised, because my parents were very much like that. Is like whatever you say, you do, and you follow through on that, and that's very, very important. And so, if you tell someone you're going to be doing something, you damn well should be doing it. And so, people should be more of action. And so there again, I think what you're doing is you're creating leaders, not followers, because the world is, as we're seeing with a lot of things that are happening, they're hearing something and they're following, right? They're not really taking leadership of what they're doing and not taking ownership of what they're doing, and then the results of it. So
making a lot of excuses for a lot of things instead of looking inside themselves and seeing what they can actually accomplish.
Right.
I mean, John F. Kennedy said, I can't think of his name, but he was talking about, not just for your country, but do for yourself as well. Check John F. Kennedy. It's very interesting, but right now, this can be a great time. And when I was consulting months ago, I said the coronavirus for some people is going to be like the gold rush. And if you look at the gold rush, what did occur? Well, some people had a stake out in California, okay, but the real people that made the money were Levi's, were the people who had the picks and shovels, the wagons, all that stuff. it's the stuff around it. It's not always the thing you think that is what it is. It's a lot of times everything around it. When I was consulting about the coronavirus, they said there'll be more opportunities coming up than ever in our history. And I believe that right now.
Yeah, I agree. But what it's going to create is a mind shift, and I think that's what's taking place now. Is that shift is starting to happen, and people starting to look at their way of doing business, the way of commuting. I mean, just everything is starting to make a shift, and rightfully so. You know, nothing should really always stay the same, and we
Right.
need to be evolving. You know, as people, as an economy, all of that. So. And as in business, we have to be forever turning, right? Forever our wheels turning into what the next is going to be. So I admire you, and I want to thank you for taking the time to being on our show. We got so busy talking, I didn't even take a quick break. So, but that's okay. Well, that's fine. It's that's what the benefits of having your own station. So we'll go with that. But it is a joy to have you because you're inspirational, you're creative, and it's great to see, you not taking something that's difficult in life. Where some people would say, hey, the virus is here, I'm going to sit down, I'm just going to watch Netflix all night, all the time. You didn't. You took it and you developed something that not only is going to help you, but also help those around you. And giving over to, again, let's make sure we put up your website, the website here. You guys go to getameta.net. It's GETTAMETTA.net. There you can purchase the VIP package. Very reasonable, but the funds then go to the inner city children and helping them through this difficult time.
We ask for donations on top of that if possible too, so we can get more kids involved in this program. I think it's important.
Oh, absolutely. And the more you can get kids involved in something, you're teaching them something, you're making their minds active, and that's truly a blessing in itself, for sure. Absolutely. Well, you're a joy, and thank you so much, sir, for being with us. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, Cece.
So, I want to make sure we put up your information here. Light at the end of the tunnel. Our guest today is Irvin Laibson, and he's a rocker producer, and he's a disabled business leader, helping those around him really succeed. And so we appreciate all that you do. And I'm going to look forward to that comedy show. I think that's going to be pretty great.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any last words you'd like to share with our audience today before we close?
Yeah, disabled, or it's not necessarily a curse. I mean, sometimes things happen for a reason, but they open up other possibilities. And don't give up. Never give up. Never say die. Like Ozzy says, never say die. But he also says, learn how to love and forget how to hate.
Wow, that's an absolute statement in itself. And we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for being on our business showcase. It has been an honor to have you. So thank you again. We appreciate it. So you guys, we got to close the show today. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is a business showcase, and I am so glad to have you here with us. You can find a repeat of the show on our goingsolomedia.com website, or on our YouTube station, or on our Facebook. So please, if you missed some of the show, go back and listen to it. We would appreciate it. And again, I want to put up the website. It's going to help inner city children. So there's a VIP package, or even make a donation. Just go to getameta.net. That's GETTAMETTA.net. And we have our wonderful guest here today with the light at the end of the tunnel. And our guest is Irvin Laibson. And we do appreciate so much the time that you spent with us here today, sir. Thank you again.
God bless you. Okay. Take care, Cece. I hope to see you again.
Okay, thank you. We will. All right, bye, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.